Hello everyone. Good evening. It's Wednesday. Let's create. We are going to be working on a fancy fold card this evening. We're going to be making a double Z fold card. And when we do our Tuesday night card making stash dash, we often have Z fold as one of our fancy fold cards that comes up when we roll the dice. And so I thought it might be nice to show a different take on it. And I know that some of you actually do make these because I've seen them during Stash Dash. And so I thought, you know what, let's just go ahead and we'll teach everybody how to make a double Z fold card. Good morning, Karen. Hey, Carol, nice to see you join in. If you're popping on to watch, just say a hello or howdy so I know you're here. So we're going to be starting with a standard card base, and we're also going to be using the mix-in paper pack that's currently available in the July through September catalog. There's a pack of paper that, close to my heart, puts together every catalog, and it matches with all of the collections in the catalog. So this month we have this one here. It's got a wood grain, it's got some toffee, it's got some papaya happening, some candy apple red, some shortbread, some sapphire, lots of nice patterns that just mix in really well and add to the paper collections that are in the catalog. But even if you're not using the collections in the catalog, these papers are super for creating on their own or mixed in with other collections that you may have, because they are just basic colors in nice, easy patterns to kind of mingle in with other things. They're very textural, more so than any kind of major pattern. I love this wood grain. We've used that a couple times. So we're actually going to be using this one, which is the papaya sort of shaded one. We're also going to be using this fun stamp set that I just can't get enough of. It's called On the Farm. And so we're going to be looking at that. And I'm also going to be bringing in an older stamp set, the Pennant Banner Alphabet. And I like this because it's just the right size of letters that I want for the project that I'm working on. Sometimes when you're looking about adding things to your cards, you need to have sizing of alphabets that work with the size of a card. Sometimes our alphabets are sized to suit scrapbooking pages, right? So it's nice to have a variety of sizes and different fonts and all sorts of things. Howdy, Mom. Nice to see you're watching. You might have to leave early. That's okay. And you're right. Yes, I've been uploading the videos to YouTube. And so if you miss the live, you can also catch it on YouTube. And of course it stays on Facebook. So we are going to begin our Z fold card with just with a standard card base, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, because I want this, although it's a fancy fold card, I want it to fit into my regular envelope. So I've just got my regular card base, and it's got a score line already in it. One side's a bump, one side's a dip, and we're going to fold it with the bump side to the inside and just crease that down like that. And then we're going to do the simplest way to make a Z fold card. Honestly, it's the simplest way. You just take your card and you take your top layer of the card, the front of your card, and you fold it back on itself. And this is quite often how I make my Z fold cards. If you're not Canadian or Australian, you might call it a Z fold card because it creates the letter Z or Z when you're all done. So it makes this kind of zigzag. And so quite often, this is how I make a Z fold card because it's just super simple. You're just taking your regular card base and folding the front in half back on itself. And so, and quite often we add a little panel on the front just to make it a little bit more interesting, things like that. So we're going to take this regular standard card base and create that Z fold, and then we're going to add some pattern paper to it. So this is the mix-in paper that I was telling you about, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add this to the front of my card. So this has been cut to 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. And what that's going to do is it's going to allow a little bit of that white card base to show through. Now, because I am doing a Z-fold card, I want my pattern to actually touch right on this part of the card here with a crease line. So I'm going to line my card up using my fingers tips to help me. Line it right up there along that crease, and then the extra bit of white will be all around the top and left side, just like that. And then I also want to add pattern to the back, and I'm going to add the exact same pattern. So once we get them all in there, then we'll have a nice even amount of pattern going around. So this pattern for the inside was cut at 4 inches by 5 1/4. And I'm just going to add some glue. I'm using liquid glue today because it is sometimes easier if you have to slide things around to get it all lined up. So what I want to do is I want to push this against the center crease, and I'm going to fold my card over so that I kind of make sure that my pattern paper lines up from side to side. Okay, and then I can stick that down. I also know that my card will still open and close okay because I had it closed when I stuck it down. And there we have our pattern going all the way across. And now we also have this panel here that is looking a little bit bare. So I've got a piece of Papaya cardstock that I've cut at 2 inches by 5 1/4 because I don't really want any major gaps in this center part. So I've cut this one right at 2 inches. And so that should fit nicely in between the two creases here. We need to leave that room for the card to do the mechanics of opening and closing. So there is sort of that little hairline of the white showing, but it just kind of fills in the space in between nicely. And everything still moves good and freely. So now we get to the part where we need to add the double part of the Z-fold card. And by doing that, or how we do that, is by adding a second panel. So I've got a piece of sage cardstock here. I'm going to scooch this out of the way. And this sage cardstock is 3 1/2 inches by 7 1/2. So 7 1/2 by 3 1/2. And I'm going to line it up here on my Versamat because I need to create some score lines. If you have a scoreboard, you can obviously go ahead and use that. And so I need to score it at 3 1/4 inches. Is my first score line. So I'm going to line it up there at 3 1/4 and get that scored down. And then I'm also going to score at 5 3/8. Now, 3/8, I know you all love it when I do the 8s. It's right in between 5 1/4 and 5 1/2. That's where 3/8 is. So we're at 5 3/8. And we're just going to line that up and score it. Now I want to show you a little bit of a trick about how this scoring is done. What it is if I took my panel of sage and I laid it on here, you can see that the length ends at the center score line, and this score line and this edge of the card all line up. Okay, so if you're switching your measurements around, say you want to make a slimline card or a difference of 5 by 7 or something, then what you just need is you need to repeat the scoring spacing from the front folded part onto this one. But you're going to be doing it at the opposite end, right? So this is scored on the left side, and this is scored on the right side to create that. And then what you want to do is you want to fold this part to the back. And because I don't use a scoreboard, I always double check to make sure everything lines up before I give the final crease. So there we go. So that first largest panel of the sage is folded, and this has a mountain fold. So it comes up like a mountain. And then the second crease, we're going to do a valley fold. So it's kind of like if you thought about the way we had the card before. So say this is the back, and we fold, and then we fold back on itself. So I like to flip it over so that I can fold it back on itself and make sure everything lines up. So now we have created our first big panel, created a mountain fold, and then our two smaller panels create a valley fold like that. Okay? Easy peasy. And then we're going to add them together. Now, if you just put that panel right there on the front like that, you will notice that these get stuck. Okay, so we don't want to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that those valley folds go inside these valley folds when we stick it down. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to line it up how we think it looks good, and we're going to flip it over. Make sure we're in the center, and this is just going to determine where we put our glue. So now that we've centered this panel right in the center, we're going to open it up, and we're just going to add glue to this part right here. I'm not going past that crease line. And then we need to flip it over, and we need to adhere it without sticking this into this. That's the tricky part. So you got to kind of tuck those valley folded pieces in behind and put this in front, and then kind of line it all up. And this is why the liquid glue is helpful for this, because that gives you that little bit of wiggle time to kind of adjust and make sure everything's straight and where you want it before you give it a good squish down. That's where liquid glue comes in really handy. And then we can open it up, and like this, like you would a normal card, just fold the front open, and we're going to apply glue onto this back panel, just like this. And then the easiest thing is to just fold this over. Okay, we could pick it up and flip it, but I find it just works better if you just fold the back panel over. And now this has just been freshly glued, right? So we don't want to be too aggressive with it, but you can see that we now have our Z fold that opens and closes, and it's a double Z fold. Look at that. How fun is that? So that is the base of our card. So it's good to do that decorating in the back before you put the second panel, the double panel on there. But now we need to create something to decorate it with. And so that's where those fun on the farm stamps are going to come in, because we're going to do a little bit of decorating with those just because I can't get enough of them. So I'm going to be using my Intense Black ink. I'm keeping it very simple. This is a very simple decorating that we're doing today. And I've got the little pig here. I just think he's so cute, sitting here with his little feet stuck out. And so we're going to stamp him right on the first panel, just like that, right kind of in the middle. So cute. And then there's also little grass and little flowers on this stamp set as well. So I'm going to stamp up one of these and just stamp that on there, and then ink that one up and stamp it on there. So he's got a little bit of scenery happening there. And then I'm also going to take, oh, I didn't tell you what size this panel was. This has been cut to 3 inches by 3 1/4. So 3 inches by 3 1/4 tall. And then I also have 2 panels that are 1 7/8 by 3 1/4. So we've got 2 more panels, 1 7/8 by 3 1/4. And this second one, oh, I've already done the little piggy. We're going to stamp the little sheep because it's just so cute too. Oh my goodness. We're going to stamp our little sheep on here like that. And maybe we'll give him a little tufty of grass as well, like that. And then on the last panel, we're going to stamp the cow. And you might look at that and say, okay, how are you going to stamp that on there? It's really big. So this is where you need a scratch piece of paper, and because we're going to stamp off the edge. So let me move that one out of the way, and we'll stick that one on there like that. We're going to ink up our little cow. And I just want the front half of my cow on here. So just however much of him fits on there. Her. It's a her. And there we go. So don't worry if your stamps don't fit exactly with what's happening. It's okay. You can make it work. It will work. So there's our little cow and our little cluster of flowers there. But then I also want to stamp some words. And I don't really have a sentiment per se for this card, but I wanted to stamp some words. So that's where I'm bringing in the pennant banner alphabet. And just going to grab that. And we're going to stamp out the sounds that these animals make. So, of course, for our little cow here, we're going to stamp moo. So there's our M. And we'll take our O. And, of course, it just says mo. But that's because I can't do 2 O's at one time. There's only one in the set. So we're going to stamp M-O for moo. And then we'll take this other, the M off. And we'll stamp the second O. And now I'm going to have to move it down to the bottom of the frame here so I can see what I'm doing. M-O-O, moo. So cute. Oh my gosh. Love these guys. And then, of course, with our little sheep, what does the sheep say? Sheep says, ba. So let's get our B. Wants to stick to me. B. And an A. And, of course, we're going to have to do the same trick with the A. We're going to have to double it, double stamp. So we'll do the B-A first. B-A. And then we'll take the B off. And just stamp the A again a second time. Oh, I better move it down so I can see what I'm doing. Are you guys loving these little animal stamps as much as I am? I don't know. I like them a lot. It's hard to say whether anybody can like them as much as me, but I think they're just so cute. So now we're going to stamp the word oink, because that's what we're going to say the pig says. I don't think I've ever heard a pig actually say oink, but that's the generally accepted phrase for a pig. And all of these can fit all at once because there's no double letters. I'm probably sticking my head into the screen while I'm doing that, but there's our oink. We're going to stamp that right in the middle. Oh my goodness. It just makes me laugh because it's so cute. So cute. And then let's add a little bit of detail. I've probably got ink all over my fingers now because I tend to do that. Let's add just a little bit of a frame on here. So I'm just using my journaling pen, and I'm just going to draw a line straight down from top to bottom. And I'm going to do the same thing across the bottom. And it doesn't matter if it's wiggly woggly or not. It just kind of adds to the humor and the charm of these stamps. And there we go. So cute. Oink. And then we have our ba. So we're going to go around, make a cute little frame. So when you guys are doing cards and things, and especially our Stash Dash challenge, and one of the things that comes up quite often, and you all go, is doodling. And you know what? What I'm doing right now, it totally passes as doodling. So let's start this one. We're going to go across the bottom first, because this one's going to be a little bit different because our image goes off the edge. So I'm going to do that one first, and then up the side, and then across the top. And then this one I'm going to jump. When I get to the stamped image, we're going to jump over it. So we're going to go down to the ink line, and then jump, and then continue on. Just like that. Like you just walked into the frame of our picture. And then I want to do some coloring, but I want to do some coloring that's very simplified. Okay, I don't want to make it a whole big to-do, just very simplified. So first we're going to start with the brown gray blend, and we want the lightest color. We're going to add a few shadows. So this one, we're going to just make a swoop, because like I said, we're keeping this simple, and we're just going to color in a little gray swoop on our cow. That's it. That's the shadow. And then for our little pig, we're going to do a little swoop from under his chin and across, just like that. And then for the sheep, we'll add another little swoop from under his chin and across, just like that. So cute. But of course, we've got monochromatic happening right now, right? We've just got black and white and a little bit of brown gray. So let's add in a little bit of color to kind of match the papaya. And so we have the Coral Blend, Tri-Blend marker. And I'm just going to pick and choose a few things to color. So for our little sheep here, I'm just going to color the ears. That's it, just the ears. And actually, I'm trying to decide, what did I want, the light one? I don't think so. I think I wanted the dark one. Let me see. Yeah. Sorry. I want the dark one of this. So just color his little ears, just like that. And that's it. That's all the color that guy's going to get. And then for our little cow, we're going to color his spots, because these guys are kind of cartoony. It doesn't have to look realistic. I'm pretty sure I have never seen a cow with, you know, coral colored spots, but it's okay. We can totally do fun things. And then this little guy, I think I'm just going to color his nose. Just going to color the snouty snout on his face. And there we go. Isn't that cute? I think it just kind of adds to the charm of these little guys by doing the coloring like that. So let's go ahead and we'll add these onto the front. We're going to center it into the panels. So this guy is going on the largest panel, obviously. Largest piece. And we're going to center it there on the sage. Our little oink, oink, oink. Like that. And then we'll do the cow. But this guy's going on the last panel, because I kind of took into consideration the direction that my little guys were pointing. So this little guy kind of points his feet and everything to the inside of the card. And this little guy is kind of pointing in from the back edge of the card, right? Because he's coming at it like this. And then the sheep is kind of looking sort of straight ahead. So I thought he would be good to stick in the center. Now this one, you can't really lay the card down completely flat to add this piece, because just the way that this is, oh actually, no, this one did work. The last one I did, I couldn't lay it down. But this one will lay down. Yay! I did it much better this time than the last 2 or 3 times I've made it. The last 2 or 3 times I put this kind of card together, it kind of got stuck here. I couldn't lay it down. But this one does. Yay! I did it well. So there is our cute oink ink moo, or oink ba moo, with our cute little on the farm animals. We've added our doodling all around the edges, added in a few little tufts of the grass there as well. And then we've got our mix-in papers across there and a little bit of papaya cardstock. And that is our double Z card. I think that is so cute. And now you're probably looking at it going, where are we going to put the message? And that's what the back side is for. Look at that nice big panel. Good spot to write a message. You can even stamp a message on there. I'm thinking this would be cute as a get well card, because it just kind of makes me chuckle. It would be cute as a thinking of you card. It would be really cute as a birthday card. Any kind of occasion. I just think that that is super fun, super cute, and it's a double Z fold card. All right. Have a wonderful evening. See you guys again soon. Toodaloo. Bye.